Hey guys, okay, I'm back. Anyways, I realized that I have a list of things I like to talk about usually, so I stay like on script or whatever, but I don't want to do that today because I just want to let the good old thinker flow. Because, as I said, I'm trying to get better at having like better articulation skills with how I converse with people, and the only way to do that is to get off script because I'm very like controlling, I think, in a lot of different ways. But if I don't do that, if I force myself to get out of my stupid little note box of control, then maybe I'll be better at it. But I had a list of things that I wanted to talk about, but right now I think I just want to talk about how like I started making these videos just like for myself, obviously, because no one watches them. I mean, I don't ever go back and watch them, but I like talking, and I don't know why, like, I get so anxious talking to other people sometimes. Like, I really get in my head about it, as we all do, but like, it's just so much easier for me to talk to a world of like strangers than to talk to nice, close friends, because obviously I have like fear of judgment and other stuff like that. But, some things that have been going on. I've been watching a lot of Madeline RG's YouTube videos, and I just wish I had like that personality of just like showing up and like making people's day and having such like so many words of wisdom to share with just with the world. Like all of everyone's comments under her videos are like, oh my gosh, you said exactly what I needed to hear today. Like, you validated my feelings in all these different ways. And I'm just like, yeah, that's so true. And I just wish, like, I mean, I aspire to be someone like her, just like living her life. And also, we have the same birthday, July 7th. So, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. But, something else that has been on my mind recently is working my crazy job at my restaurant. And like, I think I've been a very, like, reflecting on all of the experiences, I think I've been like a very sheltered person with the way I kind of interact and let myself go about the world, just growing up in a Catholic school and then going to educated, like, I would say it's a pretty like good, like, you're not, it's like it's not the Stanford of the world, but it's like a pretty good college. You're always going to be like surrounded by people who want to further their education, and like with that kind of perspective, you don't always have like the street, I don't want to like put into boxes like street smarts versus like classroom smarts, but or book smart, but like you don't always have the people who are as I'm just going to use the word, for lack of a better term, street smart, because I have never been a very street smart person, and I think that is due to the people I've surrounded myself with. And so finally, like, working this job at the restaurant, I feel more like surrounded by people who I have like no great understanding of their background and how they like grew up. And this is not supposed to be like a diss of like, oh my god, I went to college and none of them went to college and they're stupid because of that. No, they just have like a different kind of intelligence that I have always lacked as a person. Like, I have always been trying to like, you know, study and like hyper focus on my major, but I definitely just closed myself off from like the other possibilities that come with learning more about how the world actually like works around you. Because when you like study all the stuff online, all of the stuff cannot like it's not like a one-on-one translation into the real world. And so, you know, interacting with more people like that has just helped me like kind of understand more just about like Kansas City and just like cities in general, and how to like I don't know, like protect myself, and also just like not like protect myself emotionally and I guess like kind of physically, but also just connect with people on a deeper level other than being surrounded by academia. So I don't know, I think that was like a good reflection to have, just, you know, just trying to open up my worldview to other thoughts and ideas that aren't as respected, because, you know, a lot of people are, you know, after these high-paying corporate America jobs where you're miserable sitting behind a desk, but you still have that 6K, like the six-figure salary. But I mean, you can be miserable doing that. And a lot of people in this restaurant job, like, oh my god, there's a huge ant on my, oh my god, that is a humongous ant on my, okay, anyways, yeah, there's like, sorry, lost my train of thought. A lot of people see like these restaurant jobs as lesser than, but in reality they just have the different ways of living their life. And I mean, this isn't even like a profound idea, obviously, but it's just like a good, I don't know, comparison to make when you are surrounded by people in academia your whole life. Because, like, my friends, they're all going to get their doctorate, okay? My friend is in an MD, PhD program, an 8-year program. My other friend is in pharmacy school. Two of my other friends are going to get, going into medicine. Like, it's awesome, and I'm so happy for them. It's just so, like, just like these two worlds do not like coexist very often. And so, like, getting this job has helped me see how I was kind of like hindered from this kind of world that exists that I didn't know about. But anyways, see, this is what happens when I go off script. But something else that I was going to talk about is like keeping your friends when, okay, so for clarification, I'm 22, so I am trying, like, my motto recently has been just like keep as many friends as possible, because you don't know where you're gonna end up. I guess, like, I don't know how to make this such like a generic statement, but like, I guess in comparison of how I was 4 years ago when I was like 16. Ooh, that wasn't 4 years ago, that's bad math. Like 6 years ago. Yeah, I mean, okay, well, when I was like 16 to 18, I thought that finding love was like the most important thing, as a lot of like teenagers do, right? You go into the world thinking that this big romance is waiting for you and that it's going to fulfill you in every single way. But as you grow older, you realize that going through different relationships, it can be fulfilling, obviously, if you're with the right people, and you need to have these experiences to know what you want. But after like a certain point, I have finally it's gotten through my thick skull that like this is not what I want right now. Like, I do not want to keep searching for some big grand romance that just isn't really out there for me, at least right now, because I want to focus on how fulfilling my friendships can be in every single way. And so coming out of the relationships out of college, the romantic relationships out of college, I'm just really trying to focus on like, I think how that relationship benefits me from a friend standpoint rather than from a romantic standpoint. So like the platonic benefits that I can derive from that relationship will last me so much more happiness than any romantic relationship could give me, at least right now, because like I think I have a lot of interesting relationships with intimacy and that kind of like bubble of world, like that, just like, I don't know, that part of me right now. And so focusing on the friendships more than the romantic part could be beneficial for me, just because I have been lacking that for a long time, just kind of seeing the value of how far friendships can get you and how you can rely on this and it's something to fall back on, that they respect you more as a friend sometimes than how it all can be like misconstrued during a relationship, I think. I don't know if I'm kind of articulating that well. See, this is, yeah, but I don't know, just like focusing on more on the friendship compared to the relationship aspect of my life, just at least at this point going forward, just because I have gotten so caught up in all of the expectations of a relationship in the past, because once you're just on this like eternal, like I was just on this like eternal quest to find this person, and once like I could finally like dig my claws into someone, I'm like, they're gonna be with me forever. And I realized that that was not sustainable after my 2 exes ago that ended in a fiery explosive trash can of an experience. And so once I finally kind of let that sense of control go, ever since then I have been kind of approaching every situation as like, this is not going to be a forever thing like I had once thought it had been. And in some ways that is healthy for me. In some ways it has been super beneficial just to take it one day at a time and to just focus on how this can serve me as a person right now compared to how it's going to serve me in 10 years. Like, that has been super helpful. But then I kind of turn around and miss that part of me that was so caught up in these grand schemes of love and passion and intimacy and all of these things that are written about that I totally searched for, but didn't end up finding it. And of course there's so much time to find that, but it's just like, now that I'm so trying to focus on these platonic, direction of my life, that I'm just like, I wonder if I'm just kind of this is kind of like a coping mechanism of not being able to find that romance that I was searching for so long. Long-winded way of saying romance was a big part of my life. Now I'm trying to focus on my friendship, but I do still miss those little parts of me that are like very intimacy focused. And that's kind of a hard balance to have. But I mean, like my friend said, every single day in your 20s is going to be whiplash if you're a woman. And if you're a man, I don't want to make it a gender thing, but as a woman, speaking from a woman's perspective, every single day is whiplash. And so I am trying to just, like I said, take it one day at a time. At the end of the day, it's the end of the day. And there are so many things to be excited and happy about and to smile about and to just go outside and touch some grass. Like, I think in 2016, 2015, I wrote down 5x5. And that has been like my model of like radical acceptance of everything in the world since then, or at least that's tried to be my model, which is basically, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, why waste more than 5 minutes worrying about it? And I did just read this long Substack about radical acceptance, and I am going to pull that up because I did want to talk about that for like a quick second in this video. So basically, where did I write this down? Okay, radical acceptance means that you have stopped fighting reality and throwing fits about what has happened. You have decided to acknowledge and accept it instead. Once you do this, you may feel intense sadness because you have now given up all hope of a better past or a better outcome currently. At the same time, you may also feel great relief because now you can finally let go of the fight over what should have been and deal more effectively with what is in front of you as it is. Yes, I love Substack because exactly that point. I do read a lot of, when I read this, I was like, yes, this is very true to a point, because yes, for all reasons I just mentioned. The only doubt I mainly had about it was that I feel like it can become kind of toxic if bad things happen to you and you just kind of write it off as like, yeah, I can't change what happened, but it is what it is kind of that notion. But like, sometimes it doesn't have to be it is what it is. You can make changes going forward to have to prevent some of things like horrifying happen to you again. But for the most part, I do kind of want to like blanket statement my life with it is what it is for the most part. I mean, I don't know. And this is why I feel like I have gotten the comment that like I give off very chill kind of, I don't want to use nonchalant because that is a word that has been annoying me recently, but giving off this like chill, nonchalant-ish-esque vibe about me. But I do try to practice a lot of radical acceptance, which may come off as like I don't really care about anything, but that is in fact completely untrue. I think a lot of my life I have suffered from anxiety in a lot of different aspects of my life. I mean, I tried to work it out in therapy. I tried to work it out like within relationships on my own, all that other stuff. But I mean, it's like, it is what it is, and I cover that up. Like, I think I cover up a lot of my anxiety with saying that, and so I can come off that way. But I think I do have a problem with how people view me in that way of like, oh, she's just chill, like nothing kind of like phases her, she'll just like kind of accept whatever life throws at her. But most of the time, like, I go to bed thinking about it. Like, I am very much wound up in a lot of things that happen to me. I'm very much that person who has carried a lot of things with me to this day that will impact me forever. It's not just kind of like brushed off as like under the umbrella of radical acceptance. I mean, I will say it is what it is, but it still bothers me, and I can still like recognize that these things that have made me an anxious person still impact me going forward. So I think it's like those two things trying to like battle each other out in my mind, that sometimes it just doesn't come off the way I want it to, because I am a very emotional person when it comes to certain things, and I like to come off as nonchalant because it makes me, I don't know, approachable. It helps people feel more comfortable around me. Hopefully, I don't know, I've just gotten that, so I'm just kind of like regurgitating what other people said to me. But I do like to feel I do like others to feel comfortable around me. That's me being a Cancer. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a hard battle because I don't know. I don't like it when other people, like, this has happened to me, but I also don't like when other people label other people with like an adjective. Like the other day, someone called me bubbly, and like that's never a word I would use to describe myself. Like I'd never describe myself as a bubbly person. Like I think I smile and I don't know, I feel happy, but I don't think I would ever, like, I'm not your typical bubbly person. And then I even hate to think of a typical bubbly person because I'm like, what does that even mean? And then the other, like, yeah, and then going back to like, oh, you're just very nonchalant, like you wouldn't seem like you have anxiety. Like I've gotten that before. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, yeah, I actually have a lot of anxiety and it impacts me a lot every day, and I don't really know how to like deal with it most of the time, other than going to bed and waking up every day and doing it every day over again. But yeah, it's just interesting, and there's a lot of, yeah, I don't know where I was gonna go with that, but this has just been like another fun video for me to try to talk about my life, because I don't want to bother all my friends all the time talking and yapping, and I don't want to just like talk at them, but this is what I like to do to YouTube. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else, because now I'm getting off script and I'm nervous and I don't know what else to say. I have been reading a lot of Substacks because it's like fun reading. Like I know people have fun books aside from like their normal books that they like want to read for educational purposes, and then they go to a fun book. But like my fun book is definitely just reading Substack articles. And one I read that I really resonate with is I think it was titled like "You'll Never Know Someone Deeply" or something, and that really caught my eye because that is something I have also been striving for as a person. Like I want to know others so deeply, and I want others to know myself so deeply, and I think that's just such a beautiful form of intimacy, just like knowing how to finish each other's sandwiches, like knowing what someone's going to order when you go to a restaurant, knowing what pisses them off and trying to avoid that, like having different like secret jokes that you have just with that other person. Like that I think is like knowing someone deeply. But this article kind of brought a different perspective to it, saying that like you'll never ever know how someone is ever going to feel, like truly. And I have said that when I have been talking to someone that I had a relationship with recently, like you will never ever know what I'm feeling. And so for you to try to tell me how I feel is just like, it's like beyond me actually, because I don't know how I feel most of the time. And for other people to try to tell me how I feel, or like you did this because you felt like this, you acted this way because you were mad about this, I don't know. Like that's such a stupid answer, and that's a horrible answer, and I know that, but like I never, like for the most part right now, I don't know why I do certain things, and I wish I knew, and I want to try to piece that together, but that takes a lot of reflection over like, I don't know, over weeks, I would say, for me to try to figure out why I did something that was like so monumental in this person's life. And I just hate it when other people try to like put that statement on me, because I don't know. I simply don't know. And so I think this is what that article was trying to say. It said there's a certain quiet violence in realizing you'll never know most people deeply. You'll never see the little rituals that hold them together, never hear the thing they said out loud when they're alone in the car, never know how they feel about rain on Tuesdays, or whether they sleep with one leg out of the blanket, or who first taught them how to be kind. Ugh. Like, I mean, people can tell you these things. They can literally tell you every single day of the week, every single second of the day, but you truly will never know exactly how that feels. And I really like that perspective in this article, because I just like, it goes back to my first point. When people try to label you under those certain categories, it just pisses me off, like beyond belief, because you don't know, like you simply don't know. And that's where it comes with like the question of like, what made you do the thing that you do more than like what, like more than labeling what, like labeling an action that they did. Like, I guess an example I could think of is like if a kid throws a chair across the room, you would initially be like, oh yeah, that kid was just pissed like about something, but like it could be from a big traumatic thing that happened in their life, and you just assume that's the reason that they did that. I mean, that's a very simple, like, dumbed down example, but like as you grow older, you have more communication skills to be able to express that, but you simply don't know most of the time. And so it goes on to say, it's beautiful in an aching way, but it's also a little tragic. All these full, complex lives crashing into each other for a moment on sidewalks, in elevators, at gas stations, and then disappearing entirely into the stream of what ifs and might have beens. Still, I can't help but look a little longer now. I find myself holding eye contact for half a second more than I used to, not in a creepy way, but in that quiet, curious way that asks, who are you when no one's watching? Always wanting to know everyone so deeply and to be known in the same way. Oh my god, yeah, quoting Paramore in that. Who are you when no one's watching? Exactly. I mean, that's been one of my playlist names for a long time, and I think that I have tried to kind of align my character with that statement. Like, you want to be the person you can look in the mirror and like you want to look in the mirror at the end of the day and see your reflection as someone you want to be surrounded by. Like, if you don't want to hang out with yourself, if you don't want to be alone at the end of the day and see yourself and just sit with your own emotions and how you reflect on certain things, how your worldview has shaped what you believe in, if you can't respect yourself enough to do that at the end of the day, you should not expect other people to do the same for you. And that's just kind of the nutshell in that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I really had to say. And I wish I had the editing skills. I wish I had the time and the effort to try and edit this to make it flow a little bit better. But this is just how it's going to be. And I'm going to have I'm going to try to have more of an unscripted next few chat sessions, check-in sessions with myself. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good week.